Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Thought I'd pop up here and do some quick updates as to what's been going on and so forth. Met with basically the COVID department there and at Mayo yesterday morning. Unfortunately, I've been having quite a few issues over the last couple of weeks and have been running behind on my car payment and everything. And I had tried to call to see about rescheduling it from yesterday morning, but unfortunately, with the way things are set up there, the next definite appointment I would be able to get would be May. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. So I decided to take a chance with everything with the car and just worked a little bit on Monday night. Got a little bit of sleep, ran down there to Rochester and met with them. And then, of course, I came back home and there was a lot of fog. Uh, and I mean thick fog. And I mean thick. But yeah, weather has been kind of challenging around here. It's warming up a little bit. We're in the 30s, but at nighttime we're kind of hanging around that freezing mark. So everything that is melting is freezing at nighttime, and it was a real bitch last night. The roads weren't bad. It was the sidewalks, the driveways, people's steps, things like that. Because unfortunately, not everybody is doing their due diligence, and at the same time, even if they are, it's just refreezing that fast. So here we sit. So yeah, I had a rough night last night, and then I had to run down this morning and take care of the car. I found out what's going on with the car, why they aren't just automatically renewing the contract. It's because they're trying to decide if they're going to sell the car or not. I mean, it's got 80,000 on it, so yeah, I get it. So anywho, that's where. Until they make a decision, I'm going to have to go in every week to keep making those payments. So the way I look at it is, it gives me flexibility. So with that, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. So anyway, I know got a little bit of breakouts here. It's all right. So anyway, back to situation with Mayo. First, I had to meet with the nurse to go through and do testing, basically evaluation, things. It wasn't, like anything like blood work or anything like that. It was just asking a whole shitload of questions. And then there was this blood pressure test that I had to do first laying down, and then standing up. So then afterwards, met with the doctor, and he basically said that he's putting it on my record that I have long COVID because I met the criteria. So it hasn't really sunk in very well with me yet because of everything I've had going on over the last couple of days. I'm been more, headstrong, trying to keep moving forward, so on and so forth. I'm kind of in that mode still, so none of it is really sinking in just yet. The celebratory thing or whatever. It's like, okay, we have the eval, the diagnosis now. Okay, what sort of path should we do to treat? So there is a post-COVID class. It's actually sessions, different sessions, and so forth, that they're recommending that I do as well. And I don't have the money. So and the insurance may or may not cover it. So I need to find out from. I need to do my due diligence on that. With finding out if the insurance will cover any of it or not. But he did do recommendations as far as treatments are concerned. He said that there are some medications that are in existence. It's mostly stuff that has been around for quite a while, but it typically have been used for other things, other issues. But they have found that they help with COVID long haulers. So there's that, supplements, dietary changes, let's see here, exercise, stretching, low impact sort of things, he was really highly, actually he was really highly recommending this one form of Tai Chi instead of the yoga that I've been doing. But I feel, if you know me, you know that how much of a go-getter I am too, how much I like to challenge myself. And, of course, we talked about the work situation, this never-ending cycle I've been in with the car and so forth. As he was saying, I'd like for you to try and tone that down quite a bit, because stress plays a huge role. And unfortunately, of course, it's the treatment is more of a process instead of here, have a pill, go about your business sort of thing. Yeah, that's, it's a whole, experience, whole mind, body, spirit sort of situation, okay, that we talked about and everything. So I did finally get a chance. I pretty much just got back from Hertz and also picked up a little bit of food there at Whole Foods. And I know. And of course, we talked about the brain fog issues, different, basically there's, like different treatment options and so forth. I'm really siding with more. And of course, we talked about the anti-inflammatory diet. He was very happy to hear that I am already experimenting with that. He recommended basically the Mediterranean diet. So I'm like, okay, I'll look into that. So far with what I've been doing, I feel it's been helping. Unfortunately, one of the reasons why I'm a little bit down today and so forth is because I ran out of food. And I didn't have time to cook anything before going back out to work. I thought, okay, I'll just stop off at one grocery store that's open 24 hours. They have this little section with like prepared foods that you can buy, and they had one that's grilled chicken and mixed vegetables. I was in hopes I'd be able to pick that up, but they were out. And I looked at the TV dinners, and ultimately, I went back to this one, and not a good situation. So, yeah, a little bit of an upset stomach. But, so yeah, I'm getting back onto my anti-inflammatory diet. But yeah, just, cutting out things, like gluten, dairy, things like that. Processed foods, of course, like TV dinners, things like that, eating out, like fast food, all that sort of stuff, cutting all that out. I prefer to do my own cooking and so forth anyway, so in that way I can make sure I'm, getting like organic, free range, things like that. And he was very happy about that, and he was also happy to hear that I was having some positive results as a result. Because of it. So yeah, I'm looking at maybe doing some of those supplements, because it's, I told him, he asked me, like my top 5 things that I am most concerned with, and I'm like, to tell you the truth, my number one thing, the chest pain. I feel like if we can get this calmed down, because it is just so hyperactive in here, I feel that everything else is going to fall into place. And I am seeing that. I'm seeing my allergies starting to clear up, with being just a couple of weeks. And also the tea. I told him about the teas. I did stop off at the one Walmart down there that sells my arnica tea. And I bought their last 2 boxes. I was just like, I was only going to pick up one, but I'm like, you know what? I don't know when I might be back down here. So let's just go ahead and do it. And I realized money was tight and everything, but I'm like, no, let's just go ahead and get them. So he was very happy to hear that, I was experimenting with the teas, but it's like, I have previous history with dealing with inflammation. So I kind of know how to go about it. And my body's telling me what it needs, but, So anyway, yeah, in case you're wondering, the arnica tea, I would very much like to try and find it organic, but, all in good time. All in good time. And also that echinacea tea from Yogi, okay, the one that's for autoimmune support, that both of those combined, I find, work very, very well with the inflammation between that and the anti-inflammatory diet, doing my yoga stretches, going for my walks. The big thing I think that I need, with reading over his notes, his recommendations, definitely I want to see about doing supplements to help with rebuilding this here, keeping the inflammation down, and also helping to rebuild everything in here. And also, now I've lost my train of thought. That's what I mean. The frickin' brain fog, it kicks in and I lose it. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the course. And right now I'm just kind of reviewing. There was, like I said, he also some medications. I'd have to talk to my primary about that and so forth if I feel it's necessary. Mostly the fatigue. There's one that they use for narcolepsy that they have found that helps. That and we're not talking normal fatigue. We're talking debilitating sort of fatigue. Okay, not a thing of like, oh, well, I'm tired, because I'm working too much or whatever. This is something where I can be out driving, and because and all of a sudden I just find myself passing out. That sort of fatigue, okay? So there's things with that and so forth. But that's what I was gonna say. I think the main thing that I really need to do to get the fatigue under control, get the pain under control, get myself into a routine. That was something else that I had read about in his notes. I don't remember if it was that or one of the reading materials that they sent me. I can't remember. But anyway, getting into a routine is one of the things he was like, you need to tone this down with the work situation. Maybe try to do a couple hours, something like that. Because the stress, I'm like, dude, I'm only working, in the last 2 weeks, because of everything that's been happening, I've only worked 4 days. Not good. So start getting myself into a milder routine, basically, instead of trying to, this whole mess of shit, I'm running behind on the car payment, so now I'm having to be going out, pushing myself, trying to make this amount of money instead of what I was doing before. And I've been trying to do that, but unfortunately, shit happens, So, but I think that is a big takeaway also with everything. So, but, anywho, yeah, I just wanted to pop up here, and I'll give out more information as I move along with things. And oh, by the way, with the tea, I've been doing both tea bags at the same time in 1 cup of tea. I have found that that is working out to be the best. Instead of 2 separate cups of tea, doing both at the same time. It does have a tendency to crash me, but I need sleep too. And well, like yesterday, I laid down, take a nap for about an hour. Yeah, I expected me to crash for several hours, where and then bam, I woke up an hour later. I'm like, oh, and I actually was feeling refreshed for a change. And that's another big issue too with dealing with long COVID. You sleep, but you don't wake up feeling refreshed. You know, you feel just as drained as what you did when you laid down. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to read over all those materials and so forth and make some decisions, on how I want to proceed and everything. And of course, he's, leaving it up to me. He's like, yeah, there's no pressure or anything. You need to do what's right for you and everything. Because I talked to him about, my sensitivities to medications and even a lot of herbal type stuff and everything. And so he's just like, yeah. And it makes it even more difficult trying to treat somebody because they have those sensitivities. So, but hopefully maybe that will help clear up once we start getting things to calm down. And then we can start getting into a routine and maybe get some quality of life back, because I don't have any quality of life anymore. I really don't. Except for joking around with Rick and Angie, and then spending time with my little one here who's sleeping on her new blankie. She absolutely loves her new blankie. And her toys with the catnip. It puts her to sleep. So, but anyway. Alright, I got food that I need to get out of the oven and eat, and who knows, maybe with getting some rest now, relaxing, maybe I might go out and try and just for a little while, just work for maybe just a little bit or something, and start getting into that routine. So we'll see. Or I might just say fuck it and crash. I'd probably do that. So anyway, all right. I'll keep you posted on what things. I might even post stuff up on the blog for maybe might help somebody else out there who's going through the same issues as what I am. So, all right. I love you guys. Talk to y'all soon.